I've told you who to buy, who to sell. I want to focus on who to fade. It's me, Jagger May, and that's LaQuan Jones, and this is an all fades show. We hating y'all. You hear that the people that you hate brings other people together. They're just like love does. If you love the same person, it brings you together. When you put on Bhayshul Tuten, I wanted to hug you through the iMessage chat. Because I put up all fades right now on Twitter just to list up people like, well, why wouldn't you have Bhayshul Tuten? It's simple. Why wouldn't I want someone in a three-headed monster? That's what it is for me.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Like seriously, I like that is like the biggest red flag right there, and it keeps getting ignored. Why? Like that's just kind of weird to me. Like nobody sees this over here. Like this is not a problem. We just gonna chill. Okay. All right. But fifth round price tag, Jagger. That's expensive.
This is a real live X comment that's on here right now. Like, FYI, guys, all your favorite podcaster, we got Twitter open on lock every pod in case something happens.
Fancy streets. Live beat writers.
So exactly. Someone said Tuten fade is silly. Only big upside swing running back in that range. Really? Trevion Henderson isn't there? He actually had stats last year. I'm not saying that Tuten's like, and this is what's crazy. I think you're here, right, LaQuan? It's not the talent, right? It's the situation.
Situation, 100%. Because like he's coming off the field a little too much, right? This is what we saw last season. And when we start diving into the data, diving into the numbers, just turn on the tape to try to match the numbers where this guy is not getting fancy opportunities on third down. This is a crucial area of the field where guys that we're expecting him to be in terms of where he's going in drafts, like folks are drafting him like the big swing is like we're going to get a Devon Achane or Bijan Robinson. Like he's going to be some big blow up in the passing game that's going to warrant that type of price tag. Where I look at Bhayshul Tuten as a guy that's still working, young developing player. Like let's say he does have that Bucky Irvin rookie year season and he's a top 20 running back. That's awesome. But at the fifth round, I shouldn't have to pay that premium price on a what if, because I tell you what, Bucky Irvin was on the field for third down. Bucky Irvin is much, much better than a Bhayshul Tuten in the pass game, if we can all agree there. I just think there's too much noise that's going on in this backfield that makes me feel like he's going to be there for all the high value touches, where I don't think that's going to be accurate when we see kind of how this backfield plays out.
Yeah, and that's where you nailed it, man. And I use our ADP tool. You always tell me to bring it up on this pod. If you go over to RotoWire, that's one reason to use it. We literally, as analysts, have to track ADP all the time because that's how you build your strategy, kind of. That's how you go in with the equipment. That's how we equip ourselves so we can equip you with the knowledge of where to go. And like right now, like you said, pick 60, Bhayshul Tuten, like you said, right around the fifth round, Tucker Kraft right there. It's not even just the player. It's also the position as well, where I kind of want to be done with running back, man. I want to be done with running back early.
That is like, if I'm looking for an RB2 in the fifth round, I already attacked those first three rounds wrong, because why am I passing on a Kyron? Why am I passing on a Breece Hall? Why am I passing on any of those available running backs like a Chase Brown or Derrick Henry that may fall, or Achane on the back end or that turn in the second round? Like, you're looking at all the chunk of the top tier guys are sitting in the first three rounds. Why didn't you come away with two of them or one of them? So again, I get to those rounds, to the fifth round, where I'm looking at, damn, there's some value down here at wide receiver. There's some great tight end options there, like Tucker Kraft, that I absolutely have no pause on him. Like, pause on that, or what you're probably thinking about. I have no pause on clicking him in terms of him recovering back from this injury. Like, the doctor said it was a miracle that they've seen him heal the way he healed. I believe the boy. Because, again, Tucker Kraft last year, Jagger, like, that boy was literally about to be part of the three-headed monster in terms of like the elite three. Like, he would have came in on some K-Dot. Like, he would have been like, yeah, y'all two and me. Like, you feel me? Yeah. Like, I feel like at the end of the day, where Bhayshul Tuten is going, like, Jagger, if you have a draft coming up this weekend, just based on what you're seeing in ADP, based on reports, based on the hype trains that are being built around this guy, you're most likely going to lean into that he needs deserve to be picked there at, where he's at in ADP, where I think that's a silly decision to do, where we're ignoring LaQuentin Allen's involvement on third down. It was there
Chris
last year.
Rodriguez on the goal line. It's just,
Yes.
and guys, and this is a new channel, so I feel okay repeating certain things on here. It's not that I'm saying that you need to go out and draft Chris Rodriguez and LaQuentin Allen instead. This is where we get nerdy and mathy, because I'm film first and then I try to make what I see mathematically have guardrails, because like you get 60 plays per game most of the time on average. The lower teams 55 plays per game. The Rams 62, 63 plays per game on offense.
I like that plug.
Yeah, I knew you would love that one. Yeah, I knew you'd love that one. That is an elite offense, though. That is doing that. That's how tight the margin is in plays per game, guys. So when someone starts taking little nibbles out of it, it's kind of like when your wife says, "Don't eat this, I'm saving it for this," and you just kind of take one little bite of her leftovers, and then by the time she gets to it, there's just kind of like the corner in there, and you're like, "I just ate one bite 50 times." That's kind of what's happening with the target share of Bhayshul Tuten. It's like Bhayshul Tuten is your wife, and LaQuentin Allen and Chris Rodriguez are little piranhas nibbling at it, and you don't want the little piranhas, but the big fish is all of a sudden a lot smaller at the end of the day. It's just it's not pretty.
And then the even bigger point I want to make with the comp, that we keep painting this picture that Tuten automatically turns into Bucky. Bucky's rookie season was like an anomaly, because it was just like, wow, he's able to bounce off of Rachaad White and both can coexist as fantasy options. And then on top of that, you have to account for Chris Godwin only played 7 games that year. So it's like they were missing a key piece to that passing game. So therefore, Bucky had to be more involved there. So now when we look at Jacksonville, it looks like they're good at wide receiver. It looks like they have some really good, studs out there that can hold down the passing game, that they don't have to look to Bhayshul Tuten to even be involved in there to be fantasy relevant, to be honest. Because again, when we look at the numbers, when we jump into the stats, when we start looking at guys' strengths, when we start looking at Bhayshul Tuten, everything that comes out of everybody's mouth is he's explosive. Yes, that is fact. RJ Harvey's explosive. Travion Henderson's explosive. Gibbs and Bichon, all explosive backs. Devon Achane, you name them, explosive. But at the end of the day, their situations and how they eat are way different than what Tuten's doing, because Tuten struggled out in the outside zone runs last season. The guy they're bringing in was giving you 5.5 yards or close to 5.5 yards a pop on outside zone runs with Chris Rodriguez. Chris Rodriguez is great in short yardage. He quietly finished 12th among all running backs last season when it came to red zone success. So therefore, to come in with that swagger, the chemistry already with Liam Cohen back in college, you're already looking at a guy that's already established that nobody's really looking at. Nobody's talking about. And that is going to be one of the biggest piranhas chomping at Tuten's ass. I'm sorry. I mean, is this a kid-friendly show? I mean, I ain't mean
no,
to
it's
say
not.
I said it again, but edit. You got the edit button. You got it.
Hey, we'll find out if HR is going to have a problem with this. Stay tuned next time. Actually, it is a good spot. Yeah, this is a good spot while we're waiting here. Like, I'll make HR happy. I'll make the company happy. We're going to stop and pay some bills. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And I don't know when the hype button is coming here, because, again, this is a fresh channel. YouTube gives you features as you go, if anyone's ever used a platform ever. More importantly, like the ADP tracker that I'm using right now, where just to give you actual context, Bhayshul Tuten, someone going after him right now over on RotoWire.com, Roma Dunze, Justin Herbert, Christian Watson, Caleb Williams, Harold Fannin, Kyle Pitts. There's a lot of people that you can get after Bhayshul Tuten that if you just plan your running back early. You could find that at RotoWire.com. My dynasty rankings, Theo's dynasty rankings. More importantly, we have RotoWire All Access. If you want me to give you advice whenever, especially if I have office hours, go over and sign up for All Access. You can get on our Discord, where you'll have me just for Dynasty. You'll have Theo for high stakes. You'll have Ian Harditz for redraft. I'm hearing that we're getting an IDP guy even, you can hop in there and you can use my code JACK20 at checkout. It gives you 20% off everything. And that gives you, again, full access to me. No more free Jag. I love you guys so much, but it'd be unfair to the people who are already in there. We're answering questions. And I'm actually a lot more active, and I'm not limited to 250 characters or checking YouTube comments. So you want to get on that action. All right, guys, I'm going to go to someone else. Jackson Dart. That is mine.
Ooh.
You gave me Tuten. Fun fact, my colleague, Ian Harditz, he put out this fun little graphic. All it is the offensive brain trust. Matt Nagy, offensive coordinator. Brian Callahan, passing game coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Senior offensive assistant Greg Roman.
Wow.
A Greg Roman passing game. Give me more of that. Give me that delicious Matt Nagy efficiency. Brian Callahan, who made the number 1 overall pick, have one of the worst efficient quarterback seasons of all time. Brother, what are we doing here, man? It's just...
You served it up right. Just you covered the bases of the supporting cast of Jackson Dart. And the product we're expecting, just being that these are some experienced, seasoned coaches. Like, these are some guys that are some culture setters. These are some guys that come up, that been around some of the smartest people in the rooms. But at the end of the day, let's just hope and thank that he's a little hard-headed. I do think that we're hoping that they'll show him how to protect himself a little better, but him coming out his mouth saying like, yo, we ain't out here playing soccer, which is one of the wildest statements I've ever heard anybody say, as if soccer ain't just as, impactful. But that'll be a whole nother,
that's
conversation
another pod.
we can have.
That's another
But
pod.
It definitely is. Because I'm like, yo, what makes him great and what makes him such that's a huge swing at quarterback. If that's your locked in weekly starter that you're depending on, that is a huge swing just based on A, he's hard-headed, B, we have yet to see him protect himself, and I don't think we're going to see much of that because based on the supporting cast that you displayed out greatly, being that this offense may struggle, there may be times where the passing game may have to lean on the run game. This is where Scat comes in. This is why Tyrone Tracy's still there and existing. I think that it will become a dynamic of where they're going to look like the Ravens. And I know they don't want that identity because Matt Nagy said it's not going to be a copy paste of a Ravens offense and it's not going to be a copy paste of the Chiefs. It's going to be a brand new, fresh start type of plan and identity. And I think, unfortunately, they're all going to regress back to what they've seen work in their recent years. You have all the guys are there. Everybody's here, right? Like, we know what to go to of comfortability of how this offense is going to run. But that still makes Neighbors safe. That still makes Neighbors still have that wide receiver 1 ceiling because they will hyper-focus to him, but it hurts other guys that we're depending on, like Isaiah Likely, that I think, do we trust him in terms of, let's say, injury, let's say Harbaugh, keeping him in the shadow? Like, no, you stay back here. You can't play. We love Mark Andrews, right? I feel like I don't know if we have that trust fully into this Giants offense just based on how many wide receivers they brought in. Darnell Mooney, Juju Smith-Schuster, Malachi Fields, Odell Beckham is back in New Jersey. Like, seriously, this is crazy to see how many wide receivers they brought in, and then on top of the Neighbors risk in terms of him re-injuring himself. But of course, there's just so many red flags around Jackson Dart. But I get why he's on your fade list, but I also get why the others that are rooting for him, that he could really still be a smash based on his rushing ability and maybe some explosive plays downfield that he'll find Neighbors or whoever the case may be down there. But again, you're playing a dangerous game on relying on him being your weekly starter.
Yeah, and this is let me put it in perspective. I wish I would have opened up more with Ray because he brought up House of the Dragon, and then my autism was like, let's hyper focus on this. I wanted to. Did you watch the finale of House of the Dragon?
No, man. No.
What?
I have not watched any Game of Thrones, House of Dragons, none of that. I just keep hearing from my friends that it's amazing. I should be watching it, but hey, when is Severance coming back? I'm holding out.
Okay,
that's just all.
Oh, well, we could talk severance later. Okay. Well, then this analogy will not hold up to you because, like, I get what you're saying that it's not going to be a copy and paste of
Yeah.
anyone's offense, but like, what if it's just the worst Frankenstein of all time? Like,
That's a possibility. These are the
yeah.
risks we make. But the thing is that we saw Dart give us, strong QB1 ceilings. Like that still
Mm-hmm.
happened in a bad offense, in dysfunction, the O line, everything else that was going on around Dart. Waiting his turn to see Winston out there, to see Russell Wilson out there. Russell Wilson actually unlocked Wan'Dale Robinson, to be somebody that doesn't have to live and breathe close to the line of scrimmage. That
PPR
happened.
scam. Yeah.
There you go. That's the biggest scam out there. But at the end of the day, I think that Dart still showed us that there's stability as long as he's healthy to hit those ceilings. So again, I see both sides, but it all depends on what I got to pay to get him. You know what I mean? Like, where in the draft, where am I at in terms of building my roster? Like, how do I feel about the remaining quarterbacks? Because again, folks that are coming back outside for fantasy, like these home leagues that are going on, these ADPs that we are so locked in on, they go out the window. Like, I've been in leagues where Melvin Gordon went in the first round. Yes, when he still was a Denver Bronco. My boy was a Denver Bronco fan and destroyed the entire first round because it's just like, why did you do that?
Why did you? Yeah. Yeah.
He had a solid, year. It was like an RB2, but still in the first round was crazy. But it just
Yeah.
goes to show, like, the general public that are coming back outside, that are listening to us on the pods, they still have that one homie in their league that's going to throw everything off base. So I think in terms of Jackson Dart, it all depends on what I have to pay, but keep your head on the swivel. I think there's other quarterbacks in that round that might be a little bit safer, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, and to be fair, like I was pretty low on Malik Neighbors, and then like it's
Yeah,
crazy when I was like at my lowest. That's when the camp started, and I still think there's going to be a dip in production as he gets
absolutely.
back to actual game speed. But he
Yep.
already looks far better than what I thought he was going to be, and it's like he said, it couldn't have gotten worse for the Giants offensively as far as the passing game goes, but for
Mhm.
Dart, everyone talks about how well he played in efficiency, just the people around him. And then here's my argument. It's the same thing we talked about of like Jackson Dart, if you take him, you can get Trevor Lawrence like a round later. I would just rather have Lawrence at that point. Patrick
Yeah,
Mahomes
any
is
round laters. Yeah, I think any
yeah.
round laters that I can get, and I have Trevor Lawrence on the board or Brock Purdy, absolutely,
But I was about to
absolutely.
say Brock Purdy is like a full round
Yeah,
later. It's just because someone literally asked me, they're like, what's it with Jackson Dart? I was like, it's the ADP and the coaching. On Dynasty guys, I'm telling you, just hold him. Or if you're trying to compete, use him to trade up. Don't tear down.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
a, he's a shoot up. You shoot to the sky with that, and you get
yeah,
a heavy return. Like, I want one of the elites back
yeah.
in returns. You know what I mean? Like, I want a JSN on the other end
hmm
of that. You know what I mean? If I can do that and I can wheel that, go ahead.
That's like and I may do this as a small video. Let me know if you guys would like this, but like he's one of these guys I'm looking at future buys. I like to think about who are guys I'm going to be looking at week 5, week 6, where I know that there's going to be a dip on. It's Jackson Dart. Like right now, I
Yeah.
don't want to buy him. By week 5 or week 6, if what I think happens, that's going to be the dip. And I don't think that Matt Nagy is going to be there next season. I don't think these guys are going to be here next season. I know Jackson Dart's going to be there. It's not the talent of the player,
Yeah.
but guys, that's why Cam Ward, man, it's not Cam Ward why he sucks. You know who his head coach was? Brian Callahan. And I'll just end on that one. We'll go over
A
to
smooth descent, and bro's on the same staff. Bro said,
I'm just saying.
"Yeah, let's take a dip."
Yeah, I was just like, I'm on the same time. I think Cam Ward, if you're going to tear away or down with Jackson Dart for anyone, it would be to get Cam Ward or maybe if someone likes Trevor Lawrence less than Jackson Dart, I would get Trevor Lawrence. But I'm not tearing down off Dart
But
in
that
Dynasty.
just shows you, right? Like, if I'm a fantasy manager and I'm just now coming back outside and I look at what ADPs are today, I kind of would still look at that like, that's kind of crazy that I can get Brock Purdy and Trevor Lawrence around later. Like, I honestly think, like, when we think about Trevor Lawrence, like, I'm not chasing his rushing touchdown upside, but bro showed us that he has an identity in the past in the running game. So I'm like, I can get that around later, and I'm looking for a rushing quarterback. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy likes to flirt that he's like this mobile guy, like he think he Dak out there or something, but like he flashes it from here to there. But I know when they get in striking distance, Purdy's putting up points. So like I honestly think like if I can literally wait around later and avoid the headache of worrying about his health, worrying about the offensive scheme sucking and his main wide receiver not up to speed yet, just screw all that. Yep. But again, if you want to be those other side, then swing big right there, wherever he's going.
That is a big swing. I'll give you that. We're going to go to another year fade. This is the only one you gave me. And you were like, he texted me, this is my fuck you list. It wasn't just a fade. He's like, this is my fuck you list. And you want to talk about, I was just like, man, that's pretty good. Can I use that for the thumb? And I'm like, HR might get mad about that. Find out next time. Marvin Harrison Jr., man. And guys, this is we're talking redraft ADP.
Yes.
This is dynasty too, man. This is how you become a dynasty player, because like you got to consider redraft ADP as your temporary markets. The stonk for Marvin Harrison Jr. could not be lower in redraft now. Yes. So I want to hear why it's so low from you. And then we're going to talk about, can it get better? I don't know, but let's
first
talk
time
about
head coach, the Cardinals, the current situation at the quarterback position. I think if you are at a dynasty right now and you need a competitor to come in, you trade for Marvin Harrison, because you trade for the situation and hope that he is traded from the Cardinals to elsewhere. That boy's dealing with confidence issues right now from an organization that are constantly in a rebuild year after year. It feels like, I mean, this year it's going to be a huge, important year for him, because it's like, hey, you need to step up, show up that you can hold this name, hold this weight, that all this pressure we put on this boy, first of all, to be the wide receiver one we want him to be. But the reason why he's on my fuck you list, if I could say that, is because the ADP of where he's going, bro, it's like, I don't need to take that risk, because I can wait 2 rounds later for the guy that showed us maybe a flash in the pan, but the whispers in the fantasy streets is Michael Wilson could always ball. He just needed consistent opportunities. When we saw that, he performed like a wide receiver one. Wouldn't you know? So I think where Marvin Harrison's going, bro, it's like, you're telling me like I have to decide Marvin Harrison in a chaotic situation, or Rome Odunze, who's stepping up, his ADP starting to climb, or a DJ Moore with one of the best quarterbacks in the league, Josh Allen, where Joe Brady was able to birth anything out of DJ Moore to be productive. That was one of his most productive seasons in Carolina. He was able to get a career high out of DJ Moore in Carolina. To know that's what's strapped to that, I'm going to go there. And then it's at other positions where it's like, I can wait later. I can get a Tucker Kraft. I can say, hey, I want to try one of these rookies in Jordan Tyson. There's so many different options. And then when I look those 2-3 rounds later and I see Chris Godwin on the board and I see Michael Wilson, if you want to join that circus, I could pay cheaper. So like, I can't pay just based on the hype that everybody has for him, based on why are we still talking about this kid's college tape? His tape in college does not matter. It's gone. It's old. It could be.
It matters a little bit.
It does not. It does not, because we are now in a chaotic NFL offense situation where he's dealing with confidence issues. We know who that is, but him personally as the player, that matters in all this, because again, is he in an environment right now that we know of that's going to put him up on the wide receiver one pedestal? I'm just here to fight to say he doesn't need to be that this season. He could literally be a T. Higgins, right? He could be a Devontae Smith, right? He can be those type of wide receivers, but let them develop to be those type of guys. You know what I mean? Like, the constant QB change is so risky. First of all, you got Jacoby Brissett, Carson Beck, and then you got the stash mullet, Gardner Minshew. Like, that's an insane quarterback room that a young player has to deal with in the first couple of years of his career. And include Kyler in that chaos too. But Kyler, probably be like a step up from Jacoby right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
I think Marvin Harrison Jr. might need what Kyler happened. Like,
yeah,
it's just
fresh
one thing
start.
the one thing I'm gonna lean on is like I think there's a very good player. There's an NFL wide receiver one in there, but like you said, they told this kid that he was gonna be Phoenix Jesus.
They said you were going to be your dad, and that was the pressure that a lot of us media voices and fans of the game and fans of him, in college, kind of put on him unfairly, because situation matters a ton.
Yeah.
But if he's traded, his value is going to shoot through the goddamn roof. Like, it depends on where he goes, though.
Yeah, like if you. And what I'm saying is like this is like an NBA 2K find a trade shit. This would never have happened this offseason. Let's say the Pats would have made a move for Marvin Harrison Jr. instead of AJ Brown. It would have been nuts. And like I genuinely think that he would have got his shit together. But like
wow.
That's what we need, dog. That's like he needs to go.
I walked off, by the way, for the audio listeners.
Oh, he did walk, yeah. I think he'll be fine. Yeah, I think he'll be fine. It's just where is it going to be? Because like I worry, man. This is where you're at. Like redraft, he's gone. How does it? It's going to get worse. Is what I'm trying to.
That's why I'm like, we're seeing the car crash. Like nobody sees this over here coming. Like the wave is coming. Like get from the beach. Like this is the beach. Like I feel like it could be sunshines. It could be a great time in Arizona. Let's say Mike LaFleur gets it together and he activates Marvin Harrison and Michael Wilson to be coexisting wide receivers. That's all we honestly need. Like we need this offense to be able to support, Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride, and Michael Wilson. But the biggest issue here, where his price at right now in drafts, like it doesn't reflect the red flags that are around him in terms of target share. Like, how is this going to be able to be a fair fantasy pie? Like splitting it up to where we still have Trey McBride going very highs in draft, right? How do we have Jeremiah Love fitting into this equation, who's definitely going to catch the ball? Mike LaFleur was there for a short time with Breece Hall as his rookie, so he understands how to get the ball in the running back hands more often than not. He did it with the Rams with Kyron. Why do we think Kyron's such a great and important piece to the Rams passing offense as well? So I think when you have that equation of the unknown of like, what do we get out of Marvin Harrison this year? I don't think I want to pay the premium price just to get his ceiling of what, again, that we all put this pressure on, where we haven't really seen that on a consistent basis. Like we have flash in a pan games. And like, I think everybody points to that Cowboys game where like, the Cowboys sucked. Like historically, they were bad on defense. Like I don't look at that game as a reference where, of course, that was going to happen. That's great. But at the sacrifice at Michael Wilson as well, where you're crazy as hell if you think Mike LaFleur is not going to pay attention and look at Michael Wilson and not have him involved in this offense. There's no way that it's going to be a Trey McBride and then it's going to be Marvin Harrison and that's it. That's insane to think that.
And this is why, like, I bring up Jackson Dart. I'm looking to buy him week 4, 5, and 6. Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm looking to buy week 4, 5, and 6 because it's going to get worse. And again, if you play Dynasty, chances are you're going to be in a redraft league. So, like, Carnell Tate back to back with Marvin Harrison Jr. The Titans are going to be a better offense. I'm pretty sure. I'd just rather have Tate at that point. Like Tate is going to be who we thought Marvin Harrison Jr. was faster. And I'll just be straight up about it. Is this ADP correct? Hang on. Let me readjust because I just saw Alec Pierce where he wasn't supposed to be. Let me reevaluate.
Yeah. He you know what? I think that's low hanging fruit, but he's definitely on the fuck you list.
Oh, he is. We already.
I'm not touching that ADP worth a goddamn no.
To go back in time, me and Ray just covered that. Like, ain't no one here going to be drafting. Alec, no, that's correct. My eyes do not deceive me. On Yahoo, guys, this is not a segment. Do not draft Alec Pierce right here because he's going right around Marvin Harrison Jr. I'd rather have Marvin Harrison Jr. than Alec Pierce, and that says a lot. With that being said, Brian Thomas Jr. is going after Marvin Harrison Jr. Why? Parker Washington is going after Marvin Harrison Jr. Why? Jordan Tyson going after Marvin Harrison Jr. Why? That easy upside for all those guys there. Where Marvin Harrison Jr., I think we're kind of drafting, dare I say, at his ceiling. Like he's at most, he's going to be a consistent wide receiver 2 with touchdown spike weeks. And that's at best. So it's just not great. Not great, man.
I'm not paying that. Hell no.
We're going to go to my other one. I'm sorry, guys. I got to talk about it again. This is a fade list, so I have to bring it up. Rashee Rice, man, I've been saying it that he's replaceable talent. All it would take is someone else being able to. He is, dude. He is, man. Run a post in the game. Run a post in the game.
I will ask you this, right? If you put Parker Washington in the same situation as Rashee Rice in terms of like draft landing spots and all that, do you think Rice would have came out the mud and been as successful as he is in Kansas City and in Jacksonville, and vice versa for Parker?
Parker Washington would have been a baller immediately because all it took was competent coaching to realize this dude was good. And I didn't have this one saved in the spreadsheet. This was before then, but I was real high on Parker Washington, and then he went fourth round, whatever, and then shadow realmed. I think he's just a vastly better player. Just vastly better player. Yeah.
I agree, and that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to shoot shots at a guy that's recovering from an injury and it's in a favorable target share to where I think this is another obvious red flag where it's like
PPR scam.
Why am I paying that? This, hey, no, anybody see this over here? This looks crazy. Why? And I think if you're coming back outside, some of the reports you're seeing that he's not moving as fast, but then there's the reports of what do you expect? It's practice, blah, blah, blah. I still think it's weird that he's getting surgery 2 years removed from the same knee.
Getting surgery.
And you're in jail recovering. So I'm trying to put the pieces together why I still have to pay premium pricing for Rice. That is definitely one of the most obvious fades in those early rounds when he is up there, because I'd rather roll with the headache of Nico Collins. You know what I mean? I'd rather roll with Ladd McConkey probably, several picks later. You know what I mean? It's one of the more weirdest things that I'm seeing right now with Rice.
Yeah, and there's just better game moves there where Javonte Williams, there's a cheap RB1. I'm not saying RB1 on his team. I mean, he was an RB1 last year, guys. Yeah. The Cowboys are still going to be a good offense as long as Dak is healthy. If you want to quote the odd number or whatever shit that people say, that fine. I'll believe if it happens this year.
Healthy, injured, healthy. It's kind of like Matt Ryan, back in the day where he was bad, good, but Dak got this injury bug that seems like it is looking like it's on track, man. It's kind of
if
crazy.
It tracks this year, I believe it because
no.
That's the Madden curse is real, dog. The Madden curse is real. I don't care what you say. I don't believe in a lot. I believe in the Madden curse. That's dog. I have seen the devil, and it is the cover of Madden.
Nah, dog. It's just weird though. That's one of the weirder trends that have slowly become an issue, because it's I know Dak is going to be good this year, and I hate to turn this into a Dak segment, but I just feel availability has always been the issue, and I think
not about playing. Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I'm Dak to me, where he goes in ADP each and every year. It's I understand because he was injured last year, or he's a value this year, and then he has the monster season. Then it's oh, he's injured the next year. Then it's oh, he had, it's sickening to this point that we're in the injured year in terms of what the curse is telling us right now. So it's with George Pickens now in this equation, how can you not click Dak Prescott? How can you not click anybody on this Cowboys offense that we're hoping has a better defense this year, by the way?
Yep. And that's guys going after him right now on Yahoo. Malik Neighbors, I'm back in. Like I said, I'm back in. Yeah, at that cost. Zay Flowers, I've been in, baby. I'll save you guys a segment, and I'll talk about
side-eyeing his ADP too, man. But he's not on the list. He's not on the list.
the game theory, I was going to say Colston Loveland. Like you should take Colston Loveland for game theory. Are you side-eyeing Loveland too?
I'm not side-eyeing Loveland, especially with the recent reports. Yeah. I honestly love Loveland over McBride. And it sounds crazy until it isn't, because it's like, bro, we might have seen McBride's absolute ceiling.
That's literally what, like, this is tinfoil hat theory. Yet.
We did not
every one of us analysts say this. We're not ranking it. And I think this is all of us. I think Ian might be the only one. I think I'm going to fade Trey McBride. I almost put him on my fade. And this isn't, this is not draft. This isn't a fuck you list. Like, I'm not having it. I'm saying fade him because I would rather have Colston Loveland. Because like you said, I don't think they're going to spam him as much. And it's not skill. It's not that he can't. I do think the offense is a little bit more balanced, meaning we're going to get, like, you don't waste a 4th overall pick to not use Love in some capacity. Algiers going to get, like, that running back room is vastly better. So there's going to be a lot more of that. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be healthy. And I know this is a Marvin Harrison Jr. segment where we said to fade him. He's still going to get targets, is what we're saying. Like, he's going to be a key
contributor to the offense. He's going to have a portion of that pie. And that's why I'm also like, hey, I'd rather take the safest bet in this offense, and it's Michael Wilson as a contributor to where he's being your wide receiver 3 or 4 / flex at this point. You know what I mean? I don't have to feel obligated to get a part of this offense where they're obligated to be a weekly starter. You know what I mean? So like, Michael Wilson to me is the best value over there in Arizona.
Yep, and that's and the thing to go back to, like, why I'm fading McBride is like that reason too, and then Loveland is right here where I don't think Loveland is going to do what McBride did last year, but I think that they're going to do about the same. You know, where Loveland is going to rise up, McBride is going to come down a little bit, and I would just much rather have Loveland at value at that point than take someone like Rashee Rice. Rashee Crash Out Rice. Let's just say it, guys. It's just like the game theory. Like, Emeka Egbuka, rather have it. Waddle, rather have it. McConkey, rather have it. Drake, different position. Drake May would rather have it. It's just, I think it's the worst click on the board. I got another one here, wide receiver. This feels very Cardinals heavy, and I didn't do this on purpose.
This is a big FU Cardinals segment.
To the last 5 years, kind of what we've seen there. But or 3 years, Jameson Williams for the Lions. Everyone keeps giving me what Dan Campbell says that we're going to get him more involved, and he's going to be a dude. We've done this every year. He's been a good player. I'm just saying where he's at is at his ceiling. And if Drew Petzing does this, I didn't know I could move my ex to the other side of the field bullshit, I don't want that at all. And if anything, if we project to the same usage, the Cardinals have kind of the same skill players, but different. And I don't mean same as in talent, but like they have a very good skill set around them, or they have a very good set of skill players around them that fill the same positions that the Cardinals have. Sam Laporta looks way appealing, and I think he's going to see an uptick there where I can't be caught drafting Jameson Williams, man. I just don't. He's going to be running a lot of 9s, man, a lot of deep posts, a lot of clear out. I just don't want it.
No, I can definitely hear that. And like the other side of that, though, is like Dan Campbell ain't scared to grab play calling. And I think we saw that last season where he grabbed the play calling from John Morton, and guys started to really catch rhythm in terms of being consistent in fantasy. So I think if Drew Petzing comes in as an experienced play caller and he looks at Jameson Williams as only as a decoy, as only somebody that's just going to be a contributing factor to this offense that doesn't really have as big as an impact that we know he can have. Like his ADP definitely reflects that we're drafting him at a ceiling. But I would say this, like if Dan Campbell comes in and he's able to really absorb what Ben Johnson left there, that somewhat identity of like how they could be explosive at times, like him grabbing play calling from John Morton was very surprising because John Morton was there in the early stages of like Ben Johnson's mad genius of creation of being a mad scientist as an offensive play caller. So I think we still have that safety net to where if Dan Campbell gets back on the sticks, that we will still have those type of ceiling weeks that you hope for as a flex guy. You know what I mean? So I kind of understand it. He's not on the FU list. I don't think he's a bad click if you go heavy wide receiver, but I kind of see both sides of it where like it could still be the Jameson Williams that we got last year.
Yeah, that's where I'm at, guys. It's like it's not the player. I just think that it's the ceiling, and Drew Petzing provides a pretty low floor for the X player. This isn't even me saying that it's Amon-Ra or any of the other pieces. The specific role that Jameson Williams plays, Drew Petzing, I call it the ugly stick. That's what he hits with the ugly stick, man. He's like, congrats. You're going to clear out so my other little darlings can eat. You know,
I think when you've seen him kind of utilize Hollywood Brown, when you see how he actually utilized Michael Wilson for most of the time as their ex, and then you look at D-Hop, like these are all different levels of skill set that these wide receivers bring. So like him actually figuring it out with Michael Wilson on the back end of the season, I kind of nod to that. Like, you see, if you did this, this will work. It will look like he can be the key contributor to an offense, you know, if you have like guys like Marvin Harrison go down, or even Trey McBride, knock on wood, we don't want that, but like Michael Wilson can really play football really, really good, as simple as I can put it out there.
Yep. RJ Harvey, last one.
This hurts my soul somewhat though.
I
don't think I'm riding with you on this one.
I will say it's looking tough for me, dog. JK Dobbins just went
starting to look dark outside. The saxophones are playing.
Yeah, JK Dobbins just went down. Like I didn't know this. Like I put up the fade list on Twitter, and someone's just like, JK Dobbins didn't even last training camp, and I'm just punching air. And I don't want injuries on anyone, especially JK Dobbins. But like again, this is why we keep Twitter up all the time, is what I'm saying. Because like almost as soon as you say something, you know, God would be like, you know, it'd be hilarious, and then something like this happens. That's what it feels like, man. RJ Harvey, he's on my he was on my fuck you list, but because of events, I have changed my mind in live action. I still don't want him. I still would rather have Jonah Coleman. This is more a Jonah Coleman segment than it is RJ Harvey. I also think RJ Harvey's not good, but that's the other thing.
Dog, we might have some smoke, but I think this makes it even more dangerous. If you are trying to get a piece of this backfield, and again, folks are drafting as early as next week, man. Like I got 2 drafts next week where I'm like, this news actually makes things a lot more complicated. This injury could be nothing. It could just be a lot of PTSD for a lot of us Dobbins fans that you're like, bro, just stay healthy, please. You're making things so much more complicated. I would hate to go into this weekend and take Jonah Coleman off of an inflated ADP because of this news today. I would hate it because it's like we cannot trust the fantasy streets boogeyman. It's Sean Payne on the sticks at the end of the day.
That's the thing. It's like I don't give a
damn what he says about Davis Webb. I know when it comes to practice, when it comes to culture, leading meetings, it is Sean freaking Payton. I think Davis Webb will be very responsible preparing, let's say, dinner on Sundays, setting forks on the table of how these guys are going to eat this Sunday, and that's about it. And I think that running back rotation will constantly be a headache of trying to figure out. And I think the safest, Jagger, to say the safest out of this may sound silly just based on the price you have to pay from, is RJ Harvey. And I say that because his involvement in the passing game, his usage in striking distance, his ability to score from his own 40. You know what I mean? That is what's instilled in his DNA. His role is cemented in terms of that, where I know Jonah Coleman has experience out of the backfield catching the ball. I know Jonah Coleman definitely is going to fill the shoes of JK Dobbins. But the one thing that remains true is that these guys are going to be rotated in and out because of Sean Payne. It's a dangerous concoction, but I think your biggest swing with RJ Harvey and likely to take over 1A over Coleman is still there, and why I take RJ Harvey, because we've seen it. When JK went down, We didn't see any of those other guys behind him take high value touches. It was RJ Harvey. So I think that is still the leg up over Coleman, where Coleman will be sprinkled in. He'll go through the rookie hazing, I guess, of what Sean Payton does.
I will say he has been involved in the passing game, but it's like you said, what does that mean, dog? Like that, like with Peyton, that's kind of my whole thing. Where I don't like RJ Harvey the talent, and it's not that I hated him as a rookie. He looked a lot better I hate him as a rookie prospect. He looked better as an NFL rookie. Yeah. So I've adjusted as far as that, but it's everything around him. It's one too many things. Now, if it's a two-headed monster where JK Dobbins had like something serious, I gotta change the tune, like I gotta play flip-flop around, just because that's been my argument with Tuten, where most of the NFL is a two-headed monster. Now you just got your guys who are a lot more dominant. So that's never a problem that's a two-headed monster if the ADP is fine. When there's three, it's just gross. And it's like, okay, I don't want it in best balls. So yeah, like now things might be different. So RJ Harvey at the tail end here. Let me know where you guys on Harvey now, because it's another one where there's a couple other guys where I would just rather avoid Sean Payton. Because like I think I just want Bo Nix or Jalen Waddle and nothing else on this team is kind of where I'm at. And RJ Harvey is, regardless of what he's done, he's a fade for me. But that'll do it, guys. Those were 6 fades that we have. This is the official all fade list right now. I'll have another more official one later. Like there's still time. Things are still happening, and the week of is when I'll start flag planning hardcore. LQ, thanks for showing up, dog. You're out there at FTN.
Absolutely.
Like you got content pumping out everywhere on Instagram. Like LQ is one of the few guys who like dominate on all platforms. You'll be able to find him out there. So
that's what I'm saying. You're gonna see or hear me some way, man. I heard MySpace making a comeback. Like, don't be surprised you see my content over there, for real.
Yeah, just like follow me at Jag Says on MySpace, where I can actually rank analysts. I was like, I'm gonna fade out
top 8.
Fade his ass. Like
I'm like, look, if you want my rankings, you follow my top 8 weekly, bro. That is such a easy bag right there. I hope it comes back though.
Yeah. Well, it's me, Jagger May. That's LaQuan Jones. This was an all fades video. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time.